Once upon a time, on a cool November night, as I was sleeping peacefully, I received a demo from Adam with a song idea. And what I ended up listening to the next morning was an unassuming, simple song, a yearning and vulnerable melody that just begs for a love to stay. Little did I know that this simple song would quickly grow into what I consider one of the defining tracks for Concept Mix's sound. Hi, I'm Aldrin from Concept Mix, and here's how we wrote and produced our song Muse from our album Metacognition. So let's look at the form of the song. It starts off with this pulsing feeling in the synths. I wanted to emulate this heavy feeling of trying to understand your emotions when a tragedy happens, or maybe when you receive news you can't quite comprehend. Verse 1 continues this stagnant feeling from the synths. Here we get the first introduction to the backbeat in the drums, and I think it does a good job of leading the melody where it wants to go. In the first pre-chorus, the chord progression switches for the only time in the song, other than the other pre-chorus, representing a change in mood. And right before the chorus, the instruments drop out, in a way that resembles a deep breath in a way, almost like you're prepping yourself for the worst. The beginning of the first chorus always feels like an anti-drop to me. Like you're expecting this huge bombastic chorus, but it's a lot more sparse than you think. Verse 2 has an interesting quirk to it. If I turn off the drums and bass, the first half of it is actually basically just the first verse. The second pre-chorus has a lot of similar elements to the first pre-chorus, but I think one of my favorite parts is the background vocals. They act as these other voices in your head that are reinforcing these fantastical thoughts. What could I really say about chorus 2 other than it's the impact you expect at chorus 1? But in my opinion, it feels a lot more full because of the delayed gratification. At the start of the bridge, the bass drops out and it gives us this feeling like the ground was taken out from under us. But the rest of the instrumentation still gives us this feeling of movement, almost like you're floating or flying through the air. I think if I were to assign this meaning, it's almost like the main character yelling into the void for some sort of answer to his plight. The second half of the bridge is the full release and outpour of emotions. Every single instrument is doing something during this section. One interesting fact is that the ending progression and instrumentation is actually being played the whole time during the bridge. They're just being drowned out by the mix of the other stuff taking space. This in my head kind of represents how one important thought can be drowned out by the millions of other thoughts around it. Like this video if you enjoyed, and if you want to see the full version of this breakdown, consider joining our Patreon where we post these breakdowns in their entirety. Follow us if you want to keep up with our videos because it takes a lot of inspiration to make music. But if you keep at it long enough, you might just end up with some stories like this.